Welcome back. According to a Twitter handler, a number of primary school buses are on the road very early, 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. to pick up school kids, and he finds it worrisome, and so do we. And there are some reasons behind parents letting their children get out of the house at odd hours. For example, some parents have to leave the house very early to get to work. So the question is, how early does a 4 to 5-year-old kid have to wake up in order to get to school? You can join this conversation by calling us. The number will be on the screen, or tweet to us, #View TVC, so that we can read your tweets. Now, this thing, I was on this table before because I wanted my kids to use the school bus. I think I didn't have a car then. And I think it was only my husband that had a car, and he doesn't like waking up early. So it was a case of the children will get to school late, so let's use a school bus. And the school bus picks up my kids, as in they get to the house at 5:30, which meant the kids had to wake up at like 4. Like my children were sleepwalking. They sleep till they get into the bus. I know you are pouring the water, you are washing, but they are sleeping. We did that for 2 terms, and I just could not. I'm like, I can't do this. It can't work. It was convenient, even after we got a car, but it just couldn't work because it was just so. I felt it wasn't fair to them, and even though we made them sleep early, it just was not normal to have your children out of the house that early. But Nima, what has your experience been as a parent?
Because you're on the table.
I lived the guilt all my life. Before I was 2, when I had to put her on the bus before 6 every morning. 2, and I have to drive behind the bus. Initially, I had to drop her off, and the family member I was dropping her off at 1 year, 4 months when I joined the show wouldn't take her all through, so I see her weekends. I wanted to stop her, wean her out of breast milk at the time and drop her off completely with this family member. So she has the normal quality, because I know about sleep. My parents would wake me up with a kiss, sleeping my normal sleep, even as Agbaya. So I can imagine my child, and the person wouldn't take her. So what I did was wake her up every day at 3:30, get her ready by 4 a.m., drop her for that family member. I didn't have a car then, so I had to walk and then walk to school to, get to the office here. And then I thought a solution, a better way, was to get her into a school that had a school bus. It only reduced the hours, but at the same suffer, because this time around, she's the first child, a 2-year-old young girl, in a bus driven by bus driver, the conductor, the manages the kids, was a male teacher, and I'll start driving behind the bus with guilt till I get to Alakija. Every day. My husband used to think, get over it now. She will grow up, she'll be fine. I just never thought she'll be fine. So the guilt every day for me was tough. Even now that, I've sort of sorted things out, I make sure they get up at 6 now. They take their time to take their breakfast. It's still not working because they still drag sometimes. They sleep late. We're still battling a lot of things. And I have someone safely drop them off at school. We then have to face trucks and everything. So as a parent, you're constantly wondering. Yeah. But that early morning, as if, the one that used to break my heart, the school will say, first pick, first drop. But then they'll not say no, because your side where you are living.
They'll pick you first.
My daughter go home before 6, and then come home past 6. My office she go.
At what age?
So the school knew me. I would come there. I would say, other kids that they picked late must follow her home and follow back. It was selfish, but I just kept flaring up at some time. What I did was take her out of the bus system, took ownership of the transport system, and now we are safe. Because if you depend on that bus system, you might have to just make certain compromises that will not be good for your child.
So from my own personal experience, as a child growing up in Jos, my mom, especially during the Harmattan season, she would wake us up with hot water bottles, those rubber ones that they put warm water inside, and she would tuck it under her pillows and whatever, and then she would wake us up with the marmite, that's food that had been cooked the night before, some days before. She would warm it, and she would give it to you before you now finally get out of bed. But then it was just, you would take your time, you get to school, and you will still be early. Then I now come and get married, and I live in Lagos. Then, foolish me, I said, no, where we're living, I don't really like the schools around there, so I wanted him to go farther, a baby. And I will carry that child all the way. My husband, with many years of experience, said, Madam, this is not the way to do it. I was like, no. I must give my child the right foundation, a child that could barely speak. And I would take him there, and he was always sick. He had to sit me down. He said, there are things that are important. His health is more important. His other development is much more important than where you drop him to spend many hours. And so we took the decision to be close to home. And we did that for the second one. He started very close to us. The father put his leg down. He said, this one, she's not even leaving this place at all. This particular area at all. And for me, I feel like in many ways, she's even more well-adjusted than, first child, they say you use them for all sorts of experiments. So for me, also because I see many parents, it's not only primary school children. For me, I even feel to secondary school, it's sad that our children have to be getting on buses quite early in the day and going very far distances to school. I really wish, I think abroad what they will do is they insist that your children go to schools around your community.
It should be nice if you get better
school. If you get better school now. So for me, I was lucky the first 2 kids I had, because one of the reasons I decided, the first job I got was to be a banker, but then Oga was the banker, and I was calculating if 2 of us go out early in the morning and come back late at night, and I want to raise kids, I don't see how that will work. So I opted for the teaching job. And I was lucky when the kids started coming, we were in the same school. So I would take them, we go into school together. While I'm doing my lessons, they are done, they can stay with me in the classroom, and then we go back. But when we moved, and I had the third one, the kids had to find another school where the school bus, they had to leave very early in the morning, come back late, 6 p.m. and all that. And now we've moved again. Okay, the 2 are in the boarding house now. And the little one has to wake up. So she leaves the house the school is not so far from the house, about 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and comes back by 4, 5 p.m. But the thing I want to say is, I feel that I understand the importance of sleep because it helps the children's brain development, statistics and science and all of that. But I feel we're not raising our children to be as strong as we are. I remember my husband's story. He would take bus to primary school, had like 2 buses. He grew up in Lagos. Hold on. We had Bomo back in the days now. 2 buses, to and fro. They were in primary school. And he did that till they left primary school, him and his sister. And now we can't even let our children cross the streets. I feel we're not raising them to be resilient. I feel because of what we went through, we try as much as possible to shelter and pamper and all of that. And I feel it may not be good for them in the long run because the truth is, life can be tough. You may not have it easy. You don't know what is going to happen to any of your parents. Can you stand on your feet as a child and survive? Are we raising our children like that?
There are many angles to raising resilient children, and many times there are many ways to raise resilient children. We'll talk on that. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about those safe ways to raise resilient children. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, we've been arguing a bit during the break, but Bisi's story actually reminded me. Sometimes I've actually forgotten that my primary school was in Ilukweju, and I grew up in Amuwodofi.
Imagine.
So, before there was pedestrian bridge, my dad would take me across that express.
You take bus.
And I take a bus. Before he used to take me, at a point from like primary 3, primary 4, he would take me across, and I would take the bus.
And you were an only child.
And I'm an only child. So I knew how to get to Oshodi. From Oshodi, my school is in Ilukweju, so they dropped me in Oshodi. I would have to take under the bridge, cross the railway.
In the old Oshodi.
In the old Oshodi. And go to that industrial layout and take Coca Road car.
By yourself.
By myself.
Emphasis. Please.
And I was able to do that. And when I get transportation, my transport money, because I want to save small and buy sweets, I'll take Moluwe on my way back from Oshodi.
We are seeing it in your life.
Instead of taking the buses that will cost me more money, Moluwes are half. Standing is like water.
Oh,
oh
my God.
That's why I like this.
And I did that primary 5 and primary 6. And my parents, I don't think they felt I was suffering. Because I was growing, and they felt they were building me. I didn't even think I was suffering. I didn't think it was bad. But somehow,
were there other kids doing what you were doing?
not in my, not in my
feel-
school. You
Yeah.
see, I went to a very tush school, and I was like in the lowest rank in terms of wealth. So I saw I had rich people that they used to drive
That's
their
the
car to
school
pick
I
them up.
taught now.
Yes, so they bring cars to pick them up. And me, I will take bus when I'm going back home.
It doesn't
so
matter.
I sort of understood very early that I didn't have that advantage, and I had to hustle and, you know, so
Work
that
twice
was
as hard.
resilience.
Yeah.
And I needed to, because when we visited their thoughts, I was like,
You
but
now
it made me
remember your
think.
story.
But let me
And-
say where the balance is. So I've talked about
But
how
the times now have
good.
changed.
So we would get proper sleep. But I remember many times, because what my mom would do, she'd get a taxi driver to come and pick us up. But many times they were, you know, they would have issues. And I would take myself and my sister to school. And for those who are very familiar with Jos, I would take from my house to View, because I went to Alama Private School. Then from View, I would take to, I can't remember, is it Rukuba Road now, what you call it? You stop there, then you now take another taxi. If you're lucky, there's a taxi, and I walk with my sister all the way. And I've had incidences where, you know, someone with a nice car would say, come and join me, because that particular area is quite quiet. You know, come and join us. And you remember all the stories that they teach you. You remember then it was when you pick up yam, when you pick up money, you turn to yam. So there were times like that. So yes, I built up resilience, but I think also that I got enough sleep to develop my brain to be able to be resilient in that way. Do you understand? So
because there wasn't traffic like that. Even transit now, Nima will tell you, for you to do that transit to Lukweju, you'll be spending almost over an hour. Then it was in like 30 minutes in school, so there wasn't traffic. The times have changed.
Yeah.
Can we analyze
and
the
I
sleep
remember
a bit?
also that we would have to sometimes, because my mom would think my grandma picked us, grandma thinks auntie picked us, no one
They'll be
shows
looking
up,
for you.
and we will walk from that school back into town, and it's many hours. But I used to hear my mom, she would be so shocked, like, I'm so sorry I put you people through this. It was something she didn't want us to go through.
Let me quickly take Margaret's phone call. Margaret, welcome to the show. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, am I on to your
Yes, you are live.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can I make my contribution?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My concern is on the issue of getting our children early for school. You know, yeah, I'm a mother of 3, and my last child is 19 years. So I had a decision with my husband not to get the children early to school. So as a result, we made sure that we located good school within our environment. And our children were good for it. They did very well. They are doing A's in all of their scores. So what I want to say is that within every environment in Lagos, we have good schools. So parents should consider looking for best schools within their environment so that they don't have to work their children too early. So having said that, I want to suggest that your view should engage a professional child psychologist to come and talk to us parents and future parents on the implication of working their children too early, because I personally see that it does not all go well for the children. I was a teacher for years, teaching the kindergarten class. So I know how it affects the children. Some of them, they spend most of the day sleeping in class, being restless. So that is like what.
Thank you, Margaret.
May I say a little bit about the sleep thing? So, you know, because of the brain development of children, they're supposed to sleep nothing less than 8 hours. More, if you can, yes. If you can afford more for them, 10 hours for children. Then adults, 8 hours, 7 hours. What we can do. So the thing is, I like to work based on the reality that I face. There's an ideal way to everybody wants to live, but there's a reality of what is. And if you keep making your decisions based on what it should be, you will be missing out on what you have right now. So I like to find ways that we can make these children regain back their sleep. So I've noticed something about my kids. Not all of them have the same sleeping patterns. 2 of them don't like to wake up in the morning. They took that from me. But my son is different. My son, whether you touch him or not, by 6 is up. He can't sleep more than 6. So his sleeping pattern, the waking up early to go to school doesn't affect him. He's already wired that way naturally. But you see those 2 girls, if you leave them on the bed, they're like their mother, they will stay there till 12. So in the morning, it's always a battle. But what I do is, immediately they come back from school, I make sure they have their siesta to mark up the time that they have lost.
Available.
Yeah, till I can find ways to sort them out. Now they are grown, they are in school and all of that. I think it's being leveled.
Let me quickly take this call from Ose. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, for me, I read about children and how much sleep is good for them. So when I had my first child, myself and my husband, we had to sit down and wait. I was working in a place that I had to work Sunday to Sunday, and my husband was a banker. So we wait, I had to resign. For me, I'm more particular about my child getting that sleep. And I've trained them in such a way. My children are in the same school with Sokpe. My children get to school, but I don't wake up my child. I ensure they get their sleep. It's not so easy, but it affects the children. You see some children in school, they are not bringing out the best in them. I don't know, maybe like the last caller said, if we can get school closer to our children, it will be okay. I learned of someone that will get the child ready, leave the child with the gate man, for school bus to come and pick the child from the gate man. What are we looking for? We should try and consider. Our children's health is very important.
During the lockdown.
So thank you. Please, I want to take it. I want us to head somewhere. When I traveled the first time, there's a particular family I stayed with, and I felt they could afford to stay in a bigger place. They were staying in a really small house, and they said they deliberately chose that house because that district has good schools within reach, and for them, if they move like 2 hours away from that location, that money they pay for rent would have gotten them a bigger house, but they would have had issues with the quality of school they had access to. So I wrote down, you need to think about safety, location, and when they are thinking of where they want to, and schools, when they are thinking of where they want to live.
Environments where they live, it's better to own. So when the lockdown and schools issues happen, myself and my friend, the distributor for Ama Wonders in Lagos, we decided that, schools, we should move to schools closer to home. She quickly moved her kids. And within the first semester, she just moved them back.
So, Nima, that's what I'm saying. That parents should be aware before they become parents.
We own our properties. We own our properties, and it's not economically viable for us to go rent and pay in the areas where we are looking for schools. So sometimes
some people make those
our reality.
So, Nima, I get you, and I want you to learn. But we're talking to people that. We're talking to different class of people. People that are not married yet, they are thinking of getting married. So if you're thinking of getting married, just let me make
positive. What you call a bad situation might be positive.
Yes, I know. So we have people that they are thinking, where can I get married? And they're thinking, I'm looking for the most affordable place. And we're telling them now, while you are thinking affordability, look at, do you like the schools in those areas? Would you want your children to be there? Number one. How safe is that area for you? Some areas you will not go there even though it will make sense for you financially because you are thinking of the life of your children. But if you now find yourself, if life has happened to you, you are in a place, you're trying to make the best of what you have around. That's the situation where your example comes in, where you will analyze, okay, this child you will survive anyhow. We'll make it work.
There was something I wanted to explain when you were talking about, no matter how scary the situation you're in is, maybe you should just have a positive mindset. So when I was 2008, when I wrote my GC, my form, the way we used to buy form, wherever you buy form, you get percent. My dad was in VI and NPC at the time. He bought the form in VI, and we were sent to Lagos Island, and we lived in Ojo in Iba.
Imagine.
So my mom just went berserk that how can this particular one, because I was younger, my elder sister, both of us were writing. How can this tiny one write GC on the island? She didn't leave island, and they had an argument. I remember it was heated. Did you know that I wrote my GC on Breadfruit Street in Lagos Island, Larry Balogu Market, and I became a businesswoman within a year when I wrote my WAEC. Because I just loved the way the market women were haggling prices, carrying goods and everything. I would carry my bag, buy my goods, and before I got admission, I was already selling things. Sometimes the mindset you should have is not that one of fear. My dad, because of that argument, would, okay, I'll walk them. After a while, take bus, go and write your exam. So it's not always bad.
No,
that fear you have. No, I'm just saying, I'm saying if your situation is that you could not help yourself,
yes,
create your most positive mindset, leave your child.
Giving that example where you talk about people moving to to better school districts, I've also seen as well where you travel, where parents will come together and have like an arrangement. A parent will come a parent will come pick up all the children and take them to one parent's house, and then all the other parents who are working after a while can come and pick up their children. So these are for parents that had to, so they had to build, so they found different creative ways to get to the schools that they wanted for their children. But you know, behind the scenes, we're talking about being resilient, and that some of the life experiences we go through is what will help our children to grow to be resilient. But also, I think that many times we confuse thriving and surviving. We want our children to thrive, we want them to succeed, we want them to do well. But then there's this hustling mentality. That's not thriving. You know, it's you put the child almost on like a danger alert. That's how that child is brought. Yes, that's how that child is brought up. The child has been groomed and grown in very harsh realities, that he grows up into an adult that is just always, you know, alert and does not really have like good social skills. And many times, I mean, especially around here in Lagos, screaming and shouting at each other in traffic and everything, it must count for something with the way people are raised in Lagos. Yeah. You know, when you come, if you are not raised in Lagos, they'll be like, why are you so calm? And just like, you okay? But when you meet Lagos people, they are screaming and shouting at you. It's the way you raise Lagosians.
Honestly, you are 100%
I need to share this joke.
100%. Oh, I knew how to time a bus. Moluwe is emotion. At a point in my life, I can jump on Moluwe and I will not fall. Like I was a pro. These are skills that Mariam does not understand.
I will never get on the Moluwe.
The first time I came to Lagos to write my WAEC, I was right at Ogba Agege area there. There's one school that we're meant to go. So I was supposed to take a bus. Nobody took me now. They just showed me where to go. I kept asking people on the road with you would just have a JJ. I was waiting for a bus to normal human beings to stop for me to get in.
Everybody was jumping in.
One leg was just inside the bus when the guy moved. I was bruised. Like I was so
injured. Lagos girl.
Yeah, I sat down in the bus. I was crying. I don't like Lagos. I want to go back to Asaba.
Take my kids on bus and Okada.
We had this call. Let's take this call before I lose it. Welcome, Abigail. Welcome to the show. Abike, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Antinima. Hey,
this for your
a child that's a child of 2 years old at 4 a.m. That is just so wrong. At 2 a.m. I mean 4 a.m. Haba. That's bad. Cinema Koda.
Abike, honestly, so that we don't seem. Nima was being very honest.
We will survive. We will survive. My child, I wanted to take her outside the barracks, but my husband was like, no, you will see them in the bus, especially that Alakija road that is bad. You will see them sleeping in the bus, sometimes traffic, and when it's raining season, oh God, it's too bad. I said, no, I don't want my child to go to school in the barracks. He said, no, the school is good. Finally, when we put her in the school at the barracks, I saw the changes, and she was among the best in her class. So, no matter what, no matter where you find yourself, it depends on the way you bring that child will still be the best.
Yeah.
Not waking a child. 2 years old child at 4 a.m.
I understand.
She was 1 year, 4 months when I woke at 4.
Let me say something, please. I wouldn't like us to make parents start feeling guilty. Because sometimes life hands you lemons.
I love what Abike
and you hold on. No, I love life hands you lemons and you just have to make lemonade out of it.
Sometimes, are we not selfish?
Hold on.
Our parents not selfish about their goals?
No, it's not about goals. When you're starting life, is it goal you're looking at?
Yes.
How many of us
are selfish about their goals?
It's not about goals. It's about trying to survive and trying to get a better life. Or say, no parent wants to release their children that early in the morning. Did you hear the pain she was using to explain what she went through? No parent
made a choice.
No parent wants that. But at the beginning of your life, where you are still, you know, gathering yourself together because you want a better life for not just yourself, but for that child, there are some sacrifices you have to make. There are some things that have to give. If you are coming from a place where the foundation is there, the cash is there, and all of that, you wouldn't want to take. No, hold on. There are people who are struggling. Excuse me. There are people who are struggling to feed. There are people who do not have good jobs. They are just managing what they can. So you don't put it on them and say, you could have just stayed at home. We will stay at home in that house and drink gari.
But there's a myriad, there's still so many choices.
Welcome, Oluwaseyi from Kaduna. I hear you, but let me take Oluwaseyi from Kaduna. Are you still there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We can hear you. You're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. I love the topic you are talking this morning. Though at times life, but just as we should think of our children's health and future. Because of this lack of nutrition, children at very tender age are already obese. When children don't sleep very early, don't have good night sleep, just because the parents are busy, one way or the other, either now or in future, it will have one health issue. They say they have health issues. We should just please everything there. No life at home, Nigeria. But to try to fix our children.
Oluwaseyi, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you well, but I sort of like try to get your point, which is that children should be allowed to sleep. So I'm trying to draw the line between sacrifice, hustle, and sometimes we make sacrifices. I feel bad that the burden comes to women. A lot of women, many women have sacrificed their dreams, their ambition because they want to raise children, which is why I understood when Mariam was saying that, considering what she knows now, she would have thought, do I really want to have children? You know, because when you think about the cost of raising good children and the responsibility of a parent, a good parent, it is a huge sacrifice. Yes, I know you are still making a sacrifice now. All of us are making it. But the burden is more skewed on the woman. Yes, the woman will leave her job.
See, I really don't care who carries the burden. I take 100% responsibility for my children. It's their father's business if he wants to do the same. But for me, I don't want to have the argument of whose responsibility it is. Now, me birth my pikin. I will do anything. I'm that kind of mother for my child. So Abike was correct. She was even a year, 4 months when I used to take her at 4 a.m. When she was 2, I was reducing it part time because every time I'm finding ways out of how to do it. So as a parent, your consent should be 100% the interest of that child. So she's correct. If I flogged myself, the way she's flogging me, I felt like flogging myself. Because that child, I think I just wanted to make success. An opportunity. I wanted to make success of myself. It could have been anything else. But at that time, it was very important for me to not be a nobody. And whether I affected my child, the options I had was also restricted. I could have taken her, and my mom would have adopted her, no problems. But it wasn't an option at the time. Some factors kept hindering all of that. And I kept being selfish. So now I know better. No matter whatever interest is at play, if my child's interest is affected, that person can go and kill themselves. That's where it is now. It's true because
let's take Anthony from Akure, then we'll continue. But you know she's learned, and I'm happy that you're saying that. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, first-time caller. Joshua.
Good to have you.
I see, we as parents, I appreciate all you ladies are doing here, and I'll give you kudos for it. You should not castigate Halima. She's just doing what she wants to do to make sure they get the best of the situation.
Yeah.
But really, the truth about it is this. Our parents give us the opportunity to learn on the rope.
Yeah.
But these days, we are being overprotective about our children.
Yeah.
We are not allowing them to live life. We are not allowing them to experience what it is to be able to weather. So that is when the challenge comes. They will not be able to face it because they are not experienced.
Thank you, my
brother. But we have those experiences. So I pray God will help us all.
Amen.
And it is.
Yeah. Sorry,
May I quickly add something?
Mariam, I've not heard from Mariam in a while.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about, what we're saying, don't make some parents feel bad, don't make them feel guilty. And I do not think that's what this conversation is about. That sometimes you are not aware of the options that you can take or some of the choices that you could make. And Nima is a very good example where she's saying, I have learned and I've repaired from that, So yesterday we had a guest who was talking about some of the things that women do. And really, it may come from a place of selfishness almost. So you want a particular school for your child, not because it's inherently is better than where your community school is, but because it's a type of school with a type of name, snob value. So you make that decision because I want them to say that is where my child goes. Even if you look at it, properly and look at this, compare curriculum, compared styles, the community school may be much better than that school. So we have also so there's an age of materialism as well. Yes. So the part of where you said, I didn't want to be a failure at that time, or I had to be a success. That's also another thing. When we talk about, parents before, mothers before, they would make sacrifices. This is what people were referring to, that they put their dreams aside, they put that need to be successful. Yes, and got insulted for it. But the children are well-groomed, well-rounded, and that's the thing. So that is what we're saying, that the selfishness, materialism may also be affecting our choices. So sometimes not always the choice is not always because things are, there's no food, things are difficult. It's that, no, I need to make a statement and I need to show that this is these are the sort of places that my children go to school and this is the sort of people that we are. In spite of your, at the detriment of the development of your own child.
Yes, you see, and it's a development issue because growing up for any human being is in stages. You miss a particular stage and you want to make it up later. Milestone. These are my own personal battles, Sha. Because I feel that there's a stage in life. I see my son now. My daughter, once I say go to bed, she goes, her head touches the pillows, she's gone. Because she has to wake up early. She knows. But on a normal weekend, she doesn't get up till 10. She's still there. I'm not going anywhere, mommy. I just want to sleep. But my son wakes up every day 6 a.m. Same time. His sleep pattern. As mommy is waking up, because I usually will start with my classes at 4 a.m. I'll be listening to them as I'm cooking and everything. My son will be moving around with me because he knows that I wake up when I like. She had to adjust. And for me, I wonder all the time, what would have been. What would have happened to my daughter if that stage was well taken care of? Do you understand?
No, Nima, please don't worry about that because let's not forget. Don't worry about that. Let's not forget that people have their sleep. See, there are some things that are natural. That's why some people will say, I'm a night person or I'm a morning person. This is not true. You can.
But me will not come be the one teach them.
No, not be you teach them.
Yeah, not your decision.
Let me pick Emmanuel's call. We're having lots of phone calls, male and female. Welcome to the show, Emmanuel. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Emmanuel. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Taco.
Did you grow up in Jos?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm a first caller.
Welcome, first caller.
He's from Kaduna.
Place. All right.
Lagos. Our body is hot.
I'm actually a fan of your program.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to contribute.
All right.
To the topic.
All right.
Actually, most parents these days, they always try to live an idealistic way of life than the realistic aspect of life.
Thank you.
You now find out that maybe you watch a movie or you have an idea the way the wife take care of their kids. And at the end of the day, you now find out that the realistic aspect of life in the country you live is not really suiting to the way you live your life. But the only thing we need to do as parents is just to face the realistic aspect of life. You may have the money, okay, security, raping, and the rest of it. You just need to face it. Instead of you trying to say, okay, you have the money, you don't want to go to this school and all of that. Remember, I used to trek for like 4 kilometers to school. But today, I started paying my own school fees when I was in secondary school. And today, my dad is no longer. but I do everything. I have my own business. I'm going for my master's and all of that, and I'm about getting married. So I just felt we need to face reality. We need to face the realistic aspect of life.
Okay, so,
so I wanted to present
15,
a little some options for parents. So when I talk about parents that don't have a choice, I'm focusing solely on parents that are trying to survive, not those ones that want to do Pepe Body, show that my child is in this school and all of that. But there are options. There are schools, the importance of sleep for the children, and so they have nap time in the classes. So especially for nursery school, children, there's a time that they allow the children to sleep for 1 hour. You know, I've seen some
that
schools,
actually.
Not all of where we grew up, I did not see anything like that. See, which kind of sleep that? They have quilts, they have their baby quilts and all of that. Then there are also other options like homeschooling. So I did a conference, I think 2 years ago, where some mothers came together and they got experts on homeschooling, talking about how they would like to homeschool their children. They were training them on. So these are other options that we can, if you see that the way life is going and we can't afford to do this because of for the development of the child. If you feel that you are in a place where one person can handle the finances and another person sits back at home to take care of the children, you can also look at other options of homeschooling. And
but BC, that homeschooling you're talking about, if you're talking of the and survive, homeschooling may not work for that parent because you're saying you're referring to people who are trying to survive.
So I gave you another option. I said, if you know,
homeschooling can also be at any time. I used to take my kids in the evenings because my time in the mornings are not mine. So in the evening, whenever I come back, I take them personally.
But do you put into the picture the times that your children are most alert?
Alert.
So that's it. So homeschool is not the fact that I'm at home and I can tell them, read this book.
We're just exploring options. And I said, if one person can handle the finances and you see there's a need for one person to stay at home for your children, you can also explore that.
Good morning, Bola. Welcome to the show. Hello. Hello.
Bola Pepe.
She's not there.
We have Bola from London. Are you there? If you're not, let's talk about safety.
Let's take tweets, please.
Okay.
We have so many tweets. Ogbanje says...
Ogbanje?
Twitter people.
Ogbanje Small Witch. She says, this madam, he posted the result, a very excellent result of a child with 94.3% entire result. And says, this madam wakes up at 6:30 a.m., gets set before 7 a.m. Assembly is 7:10 a.m. Classes start at 7:30 a.m. Distance from home school is, if we throw stone, it go land the roof of the school. Shikena, less sleep damages brain of a child. I must attest to this. The moment we added 1 hour
extra sleep.
So my daughter sleep. She got prize.
Yeah. Okay.
So
no, there's benefits
for her. I asked the teacher.
Bola
program.
I couldn't hear her. I didn't know that Bola was still there. Bola, are you still there?
I want to contribute to the program.
Please
go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Bola.
I'm calling from the UK.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, Bola.
Bola from UK.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say, the topic you're speaking about is unfortunate that that's what Nigeria has become, you know. Most of the things you guys are going through there now in Nigeria, unfortunately, it is the economy, you know. When the government don't provide better society, that's what it results into. So the children tend to suffer because no appropriate facility in town. But well done, guys, for everything you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I got through to you today.
We're happy
to have you.
Through to us as well. Kechi,
tweets.
Yes, says, it is good to raise a child well. Get a school close to your community. How do you know a good school? It is not too healthy to put a child on the road by 4 or 5 a.m., especially little children. Most of us parents didn't attend school at 2 years old. Reality matters, though. So that thing, what he said about some of us didn't attend school at 2 years. You know, when I was coming to work today, and I was just thinking about my child and his reading, and I now realized that in primary 1, he was 5 years old. And I thought, why?
Too early.
Too early.
Yeah, I agree.
And he was and you know the year starts in September, and it started maybe a few days or a few weeks before his birthday. And I was just thinking then, for me, it was important that, okay, he's finished, so he should go off to primary school. But then I also remember that he had some challenges. Do you understand? And the reason I'm thinking this way is because I'm doing the parenting course, which is telling me that there are some reasons behind a child's behavior. The child's behavior is a signal to what is happening. So I'm thinking, yes, oh, he was reading quickly, he was doing well in school, but socially there were some things I thought were not quite...
He hadn't matured for the class.
Yes, 5 years for me, right now as I am, I think 5 years is too early to be in primary school.
So I had an option to take my last baby. So I started, so your background also helps you. Me, I didn't go to any, I went to Otakara, I went to a very local school.
You did, yeah.
With a carry slate and board, yes. I do a very local rags, you know, and all of that. So, but when I started teaching, I started from an international school, and I was exposed, I did Montessori as well, and I was exposed to certain things where children are graded in classes not by what they can do, but according to their age, because there's a maturity you reach to enter a class. So when we came back and I had to take my daughter back to one of those schools, she was supposed to, they had changed the system because of the Nigerian system. So at 5, she was actually supposed to be in year 1. I now said, you people know me now, can you recognize me? I worked here before, please. Take her to nursery 2 at 5 because she's not mature to be. And I did the same thing for my first daughter. Had to do primary 6 2 times because I wanted her to reach the right age before moving to secondary school. And she was very big. I fought with my father-in-law seriously. No, she's too big. Why would you allow her repeat? She
the
passed,
brain
right?
is still that age.
I'm like, forget the size.
Exactly.
Because of what I know, this is the right thing to do. So let's not rush. I wanted to quickly put this because, you know, yes. Abroad, this abroad that we like so much. They don't
put your
rush their
children
to school.
Yes,
you don't get into primary till you're 6.
Nursery is 6.
Exactly.
In Finland, Wura was saying to me that I was pushing my son too much.
Too much.
Leave him.
So there's that maturity that they need to get to so that everything will fall in line. Here, 2 years.
I just realized that we're out of time on the show. Like,
you're joking.
100%. We are 100% out of time. You've learned a lot, every one of you.
And there's more that I want to talk about.
Yes, we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about the show. The tweets are there. Go on Twitter and read the tweets. You will learn. If you just join the show, you should watch the entire show again and again. But one of the important things that I think we learned today is as parents, our life and what we do matters. It affects our children. It affects the next generation. We should take deliberate efforts to make the sacrifices necessary, empower ourselves with the knowledge needed so that we can give our children opportunity to thrive and not strive. Strive.
To thrive and not just
thrive.
surviving.
Yeah, and not be surviving. Thank you all so much for your time. See you next week. Bye.